Hey guys, so I welcome you all to the basic graphic designing training orientation session. I'll be explaining you about what all is involved and I'll be giving you a day-wise breakup that would be actually be insightful for you so you can get an idea about what all is involved in the basic training. So the first question that arises is that why DU Community 101 is giving such kind of a training. So our agenda is that a student should get all kind of skill set that are actually necessary for him to be proficient in the business world and in the corporate world as well. So what we believe is that basic kind of skill sets are something that can actually be developed over time, and it is something that needs some kind of a guidance, and it can be developed if hard work is involved in this. So, since I am taking the graphic designing training, so I'll be talking about that. So, what is graphic designing? Will be explaining you in the further section of the presentation, and I'll be telling you about why graphic designing is necessary for everyone. So, graphic designing is something that can actually communicate the message in a graphical kind of a form so that you don't have to put extra efforts in explaining something to the opposite party or the viewer of your information. So, basically, I believe that graphic designing can actually do wonders to a basic information. So I'll be giving you an example of that as well, that how even if you just see that this is a basic kind of a presentation but yet it looks kind of impactful since it has all the aspects and elements involved in this. So even this is also an example of graphic designing. So graphic designing is something that can actually enhance the impression of your presentation. And other than that, if you have interest in drawing and creative kind of things, so it will give you a push and it will give you an insight that what all is involved in graphic designing. So the softwares that we will be covering would be Canva and Photoshop for now, and there is also a free pick editor as well. So that will be something that we will be keeping as a touch, and the resources for the same would be the video tutorials and the industry projects that I have taken in past, and the duration would be 5 days, and this would go along with your business associate internship. So your batch is the business associate one, and it is a perk for you guys. So you may just honestly, if I am getting such kind of an opportunity, then at least if I have to give just 7 days, so I would definitely go for that to get a brief introduction and to know what all is involved in graphic designing and is it a thing that belongs to my genre or something. So, to be precise, this training is just a basic introduction to Canva and Photoshop. And creativity is something that develops over time, because creativity is something that cannot be done overnight. You must take some kind of pain and patience and hard work as well in order to develop the skill. And community would be giving you some kind of references and some insightful videos over graphic designing. For instance, if I take I had these kind of things in my mind. So where to refer for research, good quality images, good Instagram and YouTube channels, a route for graphic designing. So these kind of things will be covering. And other than that, we will be giving you some references so that you can just aspire them and try to just replicate them in your designs. So to go into graphic designing, I'll be just giving you a short definition. So it is an art form in which you create attractive elements digitally and engage them in such a way that the final output markets itself. And a graphic is something that if you have a information, if you have a talent, so graphic can help you to market and sell it to your particular audience. So a graphic must communicate, attract, and impact the viewer, and we shall be covering the basic aspects of and elements of designing. And after this training, I believe you will be able to make basic social media posters and YouTube banners and even posters as such. And just make sure that this will be only for 5 days, and just a basic training of Photoshop does not makes you a designer. So make sure that you are actually practicing and going through the route that I am actually would be giving you after in the midway of the training. And how this would be working would be, so I will be giving you the access link to a particular video that would be created by me, and a individual PDF for the particular day would be sent to you. So you are supposed to go through the on the second step would be you are supposed to go through the reference material and complete the assignment that has been added in the PDF. And after that I'll be evaluating you, and I will be you may ask for any kind of doubts that you have regarding the PDF or any kind of a the point that has been mentioned in the video, and if you're not clear with that, so I'll be very happy to welcome any kind of doubts. And furthermore, you may ask for any kind of doubts and I'll be giving you some feedback, so you may work on those suggestions and improve your designing skills. And just to be precise, that this training would be giving you some kind of an insight about graphic designing, and Photoshop would be going on alongside. So to be giving an assurance about what all will be covered, so on the first day we would be covering a basic poster on Instagram Live, and on the last day this kind of a poster this kind of a graphic would be made in which object would be there or a subject would be there, and over that you will be putting onto a text. So this looks kind of cool, and even if you want that you may add on the newspaper articles onto this as well. So this is a kind of a concept for masking. We will be covering this as well. So to give a day-wise breakup about what is there in the training, and also, guys, I'm going a bit fast with this thing because we want that it should be covered in within 10 to 15 minutes. So we can just start off with our training. And so on the first day, I'll be giving you an introduction to the PPT that is actually going on right now, and an introduction to Canva and making basic things with using Canva, business oriented, so that business oriented as such, because it is something that it is common for everyone, and we all aspire for a corporate career, and it would help you in making your presentation better in the creation kind of a prospect. And we would be covering the vectors. Vectors are something that is a kind of an cartoonistic image. If we have an access, I'll be just be showing to you. So this is a kind of a vector. Just a second. So I'll be telling you how to add these kind of things in your presentations. So, and also we'll be telling you about where should you put the vectors and where we should not use the vectors. So this would also be kind of an insightful thing. And on the second day, that will be tomorrow, more differences. We will be covering Canva and finish off with Canva tomorrow. And if you are well versed with making even a basic Instagram story, so Canva is that easy to use. And we would be getting into some introduction with Photoshop. And on the third day we would be working on the background, removing and changing some colors and getting well versed with layers and stuff. And I will be, if I just open Photoshop, and you all must have downloaded Photoshop, so this is something which I have. So I'll be telling you about all these tools and about this layer panel and how all these kind of swatches. And so you would be getting an insight about what Photoshop as a software is and how powerful it is. And on the fourth day, I would be teaching you about making a poster on Photoshop and Canva. And just to change, keeping a change in this, we would be taking a daily kind of a task that you have to make a poster on any kind of a topic, and that can be made on Canva. So we would be keeping it aside on the all the 5 days, and on the last day, we would be making a Steve Jobs poster. So I guess that would be giving you some kind of an insight that what all is involved in Canva and the basic kind of a route that we would be covering. And apart from that, you will be getting an access to the resource that is actually insightful and important for every kind of a designer, and not only designer, basic kind of a person must also get well versed with the aspects that are involved in graphic designing. So the prerequisites for the training would be computer or PC for Photoshop and account on Canva, and Photoshop installed on computer that we have done yesterday. And you are supposed to submit every kind of an assignment so that I could keep a track about everyone's progress. And you just have to share the Instagram post of creators on GD group, and you may research on Instagram, social media platform, Facebook and Pinterest and other kind of blogs as well, so that we can just aspire from what all is there in what all is there in graphic designing. For instance, if I open this blog, we'll just take some time to let it load. And so what does this program include? Guided access to the resources along with the respective links, Every assignment would include a sample to keep as a reference, and personalized feedbacks for individual growth would also be given. And some past industry oriented assignments of me would be given to you, and you would be getting an idea about what all is involved in the graphic designing sector and what kind of work is given. And even if you are working in a position of social media marketing as well, so graphic designing would be giving you an edge over other people. And so our blog has just loaded, so as you can see that these kind of graphics would have a category: retro poster design, just a second, geometric and minimalist poster design. So these kind of things are actually aspiring, and you may get inspiration from these kind of designs because this looks kind of really cool. So you may just add up this in your designing spectrum and your designing career portfolio as well. And the references would be my video tutorials and YouTube GFX mentor name channel is there. So there are kind of a, I mean, the all the aspects of tools are explained in deep, and there is a kind of a 30-minute lecture for every kind of a tool. So you may refer to that as well. And I hope I'll be ending this orientation session right here. I hope this was insightful for you all. And just a small request from my side that after you have watched the video, you may just acknowledge the message on the group that you have watched the video, and you may just give a feedback about how the orientation session was. And we have kept this kind of short since the last time it went quite long, and we want that a basic kind of a propaganda should be there in your mind, and you should get a basic insight about what all is involved in this. And I guess that would be it for the orientation session. So you may just acknowledge on the group about how the orientation was and how, and if you have any kind of doubts, you may just open the group will be open for the doubts, and I'll be more than happy to take this. And I just to just conclude, I hope this would be an enriching experience for you all. And more than that, I just hope that you learn a basic skill. So that is the basic agenda that DU community is trying to provide. Okay, so what all would be there? These kind of topics would be covered. And just a second, I'll just show you what kind of PDF would be there. Okay, so this is the day 6 PDF of GD. So you can just see that links are there. Okay, assignments have been given, and this is with respect to the assignment that was given. So this was the assignment that was to be made, and some of the interns had made great kind of graphics from this. If I just take this, just a second, I'll just open a nice one. And I guess this one was the transparency one, and I guess this was the one which I made for the interns to keep it as a reference. So this was just a basic kind of a poster that was supposed to be made. This was made on the day 6 of the designing, and I guess I'll just see what all is there in the room. So this, yeah, this is one of the design that was made, and this actually looked kind of cool. And this kind of design can actually give you a recognition apart from the people in your specter. And we also made these kind of carousels as well for Instagram posts, so we can just give you an insight how to make this kind of graphic with using Canva. And I guess this would be the example for that, and to show about what all softwares are there. So as you can see, there is After Effects, there is Illustrator, there is InDesign, there is Photoshop, there is XD, and the Premiere Pro and the After Effects is related to video editing, so we'll skip that. So XD is for making user interface for applications. I also made a prototype using that. Just a second. So this was just a structural prototype for the application that I made. And I guess that would be it. And you can see that there are some kind of graphics here as well. So as you can see, this one was for a project, past project, and this one was a brief kind of a brief that was given, that you have to go to a basic website and make graphic accordingly for that. So we'll try that. So the things are covered in this, and I guess this would be the end of the session. And I just gave you some basic introduction about the things that we would be covering. So I guess that this would be it. And you would just have to acknowledge the message and just give the feedback about how was the session. So thank you so much for attending the session. I hope this would be an enriching experience for you all. So I'll just end the video over here.